Resident Evil. This is my very first time playing a Resident Evil game. Originally, I was going to start with Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, but I decided to start from the very beginning. Now, of course, a lot of people have been saying, oh, no, Caesar, you should be playing the original first Resident Evil. You know, the one that came out in 1996, all the low-poly graphics and everything. No, I don't. Because this remake of the first game, from the looks of it, I'd say it's the exact same game, just with a different look. Seriously, the story is still the same, the characters are still the same. Does it really matter how it looks? In fact, I'm going to play back-to-back 2 different versions of the same scene. Okay, from the original first Resident Evil to the remake first Resident Evil. Take a look.
Hey, what's going on?
Jill? Is that you, Jill? What happened?
Barry, help me please. The door won't open. Quick!
Stay away from the door, Jill. I'm gonna kick this door down. Hurry! This way!
Oh, Barry!
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right. Barry, thanks for saving my life. But Barry, didn't you say you're going back to the dining room to do some research? Why on earth are you here?
I just had something I wanted to check. Now, let's get back to searching for the lost captain and Chris, shall we?
Thank you, Barry.
Yeah.
Oh God, what did I do now? Wesker! Barry! Help!
Jill! You in there?
Barry? Get me out of here! The door's jammed!
Stand back! Grab my hand!
Barry!
That was a close one. A second late, you would have fit nicely into a sandwich.
Really? Thanks. But Barry, didn't you say you were going back to the dining room to find other clues? I'm glad and all, but why are you here?
I just had something I wanted to check. Anyway, we should get back to searching for Wesker and Chris.
Thanks, Barry. I owe you one.
Don't mention it.
As you can see, the acting in the remake is better than the acting in the original. You can actually believe the emotions from the characters to be more realistic. So, no, I don't have to play the original. Resident Evil is a Japanese video game franchise conceived by publisher and developer Capcom. Their first game of Resident Evil was released back in 1996. And then after a while, it started spawning sequels and spin-offs. It became such a huge hit over the years. And it still is such a huge hit. And it also has a series of very bad film adaptations. The ones I'm talking about, I'm not talking about Resident Evil Damnation or Resident Evil Vendetta. No, I'm not talking about those. But you know, the movies with Mila Jovovich, you know, those ones. And they were movies made by this filmmaker called Paul W.S. Anderson. We're not going to be talking about the movies. Oh no, we are not. Only recently did I become interested in Resident Evil. Well, actually it was my owner who was very skeptical about it. He did not want to go anywhere near the franchise. Until now. So, what made us interested? Well, first, there was my owner's brother, who is a huge fan of the series. Though I'm pretty sure he's not a huge fan of the films after how Paul W.S. Anderson had depicted Leon Kennedy. Yeah. In fact, the latest movies practically destroyed the characters from the games. Oh yeah. I don't even know where to begin on that note. Second, given today's political correctness era, there have been people all over the internet saying that it is racist to kill zombies. So zombies are a race now, huh? Interesting. Okay. I have something I want to say. Are you listening? Are you listening? Okay. Listen. They're dead! Race only applies to people who are alive, not dead or undead. And I'm pretty sure that some of the people who have said that's racist to kill zombies are probably the exact same people who felt so offended by the Mortally Challenged joke from Doom Eternal. With that being said, let's go ahead and throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
Now that I got all that off my chest, let's talk about the game. Resident Evil takes place in May 1998. An organization of military-ish policemen called STARS have decided to investigate a series of murders. And they can't seem to figure out where these murders are coming from or what's causing these murders. Well, a team of STARS go to investigate in a forest. In the forest is a big mansion. Well, this team we have is a series of characters. Two of them are the player characters. You can either play as Chris Redfield or as his partner, Jill Valentine. Leading this team is a man named Albert Wesker.
Just your average psychotic criminal genius.
No early spoilers, okay? The STARS get ambushed and chased by a bunch of zombie dogs, forcing them to take shelter in an old, creepy mansion. Emphasis on the name Resident Evil. In fact, there's something else I want to point out. We know of the franchise as Resident Evil, but in Japan it goes by a different name. It is actually called Biohazard. We practically named it Resident Evil after the mansion that this game takes place in. With the team now separated in groups, you encounter your first zombie. And yes, there are zombies. Everywhere in the mansion there are zombies. In fact, some of them can be dead corpses on the ground, but actually rise up and then chase you. In fact, they come in two different variants, I think. Yeah, you got the slow ones and you got the fast ones. Well, your first one, you either approach the zombie or let it come to you.
Who is it?
You! Freeze! Get away from him, Jill! He's insane!
My friends, that is a zombie.
Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, you can definitely tell that this is a Japanese video game. I mean, really, who wears sunglasses at night? Oh. What was I saying just now? And what makes the game so challenging is puzzles. Oh yes, as in, this is the kind of game that requires the player to think. There are certain items that unlock doors, and also making sure that certain booby traps do not get activated, you know, like the ceiling that tried to crush Jill in that one video that I showed. And, you may need some items in order to kill certain enemies. Like, there's this killer beehive. Oh yeah, there's these really large bees that want to sting you, and you have to get rid of this hive using some sort of special bug repellent.
You love my toxic love.
Which brings up the next thing I want to talk about. It seems that these zombies are infected by this virus. And this virus not only turns people into zombies, or turns dogs into zombies, but it also turns other sorts of creatures, you know, like bugs and reptiles, into giant bugs and reptiles. You know, science!
Spiders! A giant legion of spiders!
Oh yes, and there are also snakes in the game. There's even a giant one that you fight twice.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
In fact, depending on which character you're playing, there's a STARS member named, what's his name? Oh yeah, Richard. His name is Richard. And he gets bitten by a giant snake. Well, if you save his life, yeah, even if you do save his life, he can die in two different ways. He either gets eaten by the giant snake,
Thanks.
if he gets eaten by a zombie shark?
Richard! Chris! Chris, stop!
No matter what you do, that man's liver is still going to be eaten with some fava beans and a nice candy. I also want to point out that with all those puzzles and booby traps all over the mansion, whoever built that mansion must have been a psychopath. Yeah, must have been insane, because all throughout the game you do find these notes and diaries that are scattered all over, talking about some of the secrets of the mansion, as well as the person who went crazy as he was building the whole thing. Yeah, indeed. There are also side characters in the game, though depending on which character you play. If you're playing as Jill, there's a character named Barry, who wanders around the mansion from time to time, backing you up, though you start suspecting something suspicious about him, like he's hiding something. All is revealed in the end, yeah. And if you're playing as Chris, there's a young 18-year-old medic, okay, a child prodigy she is. Her name is Rebecca, and she can help heal your character, and also serves other purposes as well, like help you solve some of the puzzles, like the piano puzzle. As you explore the mansion, trying to survive all the horrors that lurk within, you discover that these creatures, and that includes the zombies, are a result of a virus synthesized by a pharmaceutical company, or secretly being called a pharmaceutical company, called Umbrella. And they are trying to create bioweapons or monsters of some kind that they can control. And later, it is revealed that Albert Wesker himself is a traitor, and that he was never really a STARS member to begin with. No, he was a secret Umbrella agent infiltrating STARS. And what is this geniusly evil master plan? Oh, well, his plan is so generic. He wants to kill all the policemen and create and control all the creatures that lurk within and underneath the mansion. Yeah, that's the build-up. Well, it's not a bad build-up. It's just I could swear that I've heard that type of story from, well, other stories really. The boss battles can be easy if you know what you're doing, that is. And you also have to be very careful to not waste any ammunition, because you can go through it very quickly if you ever decide to go trigger happy. Yeah, you have to time your shots carefully. Like, for example, you may only have, 15 bullets for the pistol, and that could be, the only amount of ammunition that you'll have at one point in the game. Well, actually, you'll find a lot of pistol ammo lying around, but you won't find a lot of revolver ammo, shotgun ammo. You just have to be very careful. Don't waste everything that you have. And don't even waste your medical supplies either. Oh, and, you can get poisoned, too. You know, mostly by the snakes. Don't waste that either. There's also these big chests where you can store items inside, so that you can use them for another time. Because you only have 8 item slots in your, for your inventory. You can't really carry too much. You can only carry a limited amount of items. Yeah. Gotta be very careful. In other words, you have to know where you're going and what you'll need when you get there. And the only way you can save your progress in the game is finding all these old-school typewriters. And you need to have ink cartridges in your inventory, and you have to use them in order to save the game. If you run out, then then that means you won't be able to save the game anymore. So don't go too crazy on saving the game constantly. Really, because you may lose another chance. I thought that I would never be so interested in Resident Evil. However, I am happy to report that I was wrong. This game is actually a very good one, and I enjoy it. Really, I mean, leave it to the Japanese to create such good video games. Well, not all their games are good. Some of them are good. And that includes the Metal Gear series. Well, except for Metal Gear Survive. We are not going to talk about that, no. No. In fact, I already talked about that in my top 10 list of controversies. You remember that, right? But yeah, Resident Evil is actually pretty good. My next game for the series will be Resident Evil 2. And it will probably be the remake that came out this year. Again, I do not have to play the original. No! In fact, I don't even have the right kind of computer to make the original working. I don't even have an old school console, and I don't even have the money to afford that sort of stuff. So, it's gonna have to be the remake. I'm not gonna get it right now. It's gonna be a while, so, don't expect the next review to be about Resident Evil 2. And it's not that typical of a zombie game, considering the fact that this is a game that predates the Walking Dead comic books, which are a series of comic books that consist of a more typical zombie genre. Well, this zombie genre is not so typical, because it's not just zombies. Oh no, it's so much more. Good game indeed. Thank you for watching. As always, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Bye!